Next up, we have Crystal Pierce. Cris is with our American Indian Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and she is going to be our next speaker and discuss PTAC and the services offered. My name is Yvette Fielder. I'm a program director. I'm Hidatsa Mandan and descendant of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, and I work out of the Mesa, Arizona home office. Cris?
Thank you, Yvette. I'm so glad to be following Mr. Crawford because my professional life started 53 years ago in a congressional office, the year that President Nixon announced his executive order. The following year, an organization from Los Angeles called the United Indian Development Association was here in Washington, D.C., unbeknownst to me, was here in Washington, D.C. And in 1972, when NBDA started granting funds to organizations to provide business and economic development, technical assistance, and training, then UIDA, United Indian Development Association, was among the first grantees. Of course, the United Indian Development Association in 1989 became the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development. So the National Center has been with NBDA for all 53 years of its history. And I've been there too. I do not have a clan among the people, so I'm not enrolled in my tribe. But my ancestry is Oneida, Onondaga, and Seneca from New York, from what is now New York. And my office is, as you'll see, is in Liverpool, New York, which is Onondaga territory. And my father grew up on the Onondaga Reservation. Many people ask me, what's the big deal about American Indian entrepreneurship? And my answer is, you're looking at it. Housed, clothed, raised, fed, schooled by an American Indian entrepreneur. My father and his brother went into business in the 1950s as residential general contractors. Of course, public contracting at the time was not open and available to people of color. In 1964, we got the Civil Rights Act. We got what they call Title X public contracting. In New York State, the unions wanted to stay in public contracting. That meant they had to start opening up to minority contractors. And my father got into public contracting. And so often people say, well, when did you start in government contracting? I said, do you count breakfast and dinner? And so I'm happy to be here to talk about readiness and sustainability. That's really the key to any kind of business development, but particularly for procurement and technical assistance. I work for the American Indian Procurement Technical Assistance Center that is hosted by the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development. PTACs were created in 1986, and the National Center was there. And the reason I know is I was there. And so here's another program intended for small business, and because of our involvement, Native American small business, that the National Center has been a part of from the beginning. Get this right? We provide business consulting services, training, technical assistance to Native American firms. With regard to public contracting, we work on government contracts not only at the federal level, but state, local, and tribal. The basic requirements of becoming our client is that you are American Indian, Alaska Native, or Native Hawaiian, you own 51% of your company, and that you're for-profit, because the contracting side of federal contracting is for-profit. The PTACs are funded in part by the Department of Defense under a cooperative agreement. And actually, it became official on Monday. They went public with the news that the PTACs have moved. We used to be in the Defense Logistic Agency, a sub-agency of the Department of Defense. We are now in the Office of the Secretary of Defense. We've moved upstairs. There's no further upstairs we can go. And that became official on Monday. We're also going to be changing our name along the way. We're going to be called Apex. But more news about that later. The general format of the PTAC is not changing. So we'll go through that. Oh, I'm going to keep going the wrong way. The National Center covers the way the Native American PTACs are organized. We're organized by BIA regions. And we cover 3 regions: Eastern, Southwest, and the Navajo region. And so if you're a business operating in one of the 33 states within those 3 regions, you are welcome to come. And if you're not, I handle the Eastern region. I'm that big star up in New York that's getting 20 inches of snow right now. Our headquarters is in Marietta, Georgia. And we have, if you're not in the Eastern region, I'll be happy to connect you with either the Southwest Regional Office or Navajo Regional Office. If you're not in those BIA regions, please get a hold of me. I'll be happy to connect you with the other 6 operators who are Native American PTACs. I'm going to get this right yet. This is our staff. Our leader is George Williams. He works with the senior office manager out of our Marietta office, which is with Lockheed. Mabel Tsosi works in our Navajo office. We have Adolfo Vasquez and Stan Sams, who have offices in Albuquerque and then in Centennial, Colorado. They handle the Southwest region. George, myself, and our newest staff member, Chris Johnson out of Louisiana. Thank you to the Tunica Biloxi tribe. We've opened a new office in Louisiana, and we handle the Eastern region. I've been serving the Eastern region for the National Center since 1991. So I know a lot about our region and the opportunities, the government contracting opportunities in our region. And of course, I cover here in DC. This is how to reach our main office. And again, if you don't know who your PTAC is, you can go to this link. You'll see a map, and you'll see where you can check out the state, or you can check out the Native American PTAC that serves your area. So enough about us. I'll admit some of you are far advanced in this presentation. This is more for people that are beginners or intermediate. And we're going to talk about why get into federal government contracting, how do you know when you're ready, where the training and technical assistance is available, how to develop a plan of action. So many people bounce from contract opportunities to contract opportunity, and they call me and they got 2 weeks. Oh, this is set aside for a hub zone. Okay, you're not going to get hub zone certified in 2 weeks' time. It's not going to happen. Or for the new bipartisan infrastructure law, You're not going to get DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certified, in 2 weeks, because that's going to go through your state Department of Transportation. So you have to have a plan of action. You have to be ready for the opportunities. And then finally, how do you grow? You get one contract, well, guess what? If you're going to be a long-term government contractor, you got to get the next one and the one after that, and you're going to want to get bigger and bigger ones. And subcontracting may be the way to go. It may be start with your local government and work your way up into, many people are like, oh, well, I need past performance. Well, guess what? The feds will look at comparable state contracts. They'll look at comparable subcontracts as past performance. I will get this, yeah. Why do business with the federal government? Well, it's the biggest buyer in the world, and they do buy everything. But you got to do a lot of research on who's buying what you're selling. In 2021, these figures came out last July, so they're the latest figures we have. The government awarded $154.2 billion with a B, or 27.2% of federal contracts to small business. Now the goal is 25%. They exceeded goal. Now the goals are actually negotiated, so for some agencies there's more small business opportunity than others, and it's because of the nature of the work. And so that's one of the things you need to learn about. Is your company ready? Does the government buy what you sell? Recently, I was approached by a gentleman who does custom roasting of coffee. The biggest consumer of coffee in the federal government is the Bureau of Prisons. They are not buying custom ground, and they buy by the ton. So you really have to know, does the government buy everything? Yes, but they may buy it in quantities that you can't possibly match. Do you have any contracting experience? I don't discourage people who come to me when they've opened the doors of their business, but I've tried to give them a little guidance on how to get a couple of years of experience contracting in the commercial world or locally before you try to take on the U.S. government. Can I help you get the information you need to work locally? Are you capable of fulfilling a government contract? Again, can you handle the quantities? Can you carry the contract financially? The government tends to pay when the work is done. Can you carry a government contract for the length of that contract and wait for that payment? So a lot of times I refer people to their resources in their local area and, to get some general business and some business finance, which the PTACs can't help you with, but can we get you to the right people who can help you answer these questions? And do you know where to find contract experience? There's two ways to get contract experience. Hire it. That's what a lot of companies do. Or you're going to have a plan of action to grow into it and get that government experience. And again, it makes some sense to have a couple of years of commercial under your belt, or a couple of years of local under your belt, or a couple of years of subcontracting under your belt before you try and take on, a full federal government contract. So what I'm going to do is give you some ideas about a plan of action. Let me do this. I'll take a moment. All of my current clients, please raise your hands. They will all tell you about me and plans of action. This is how I counsel. It's your business, it's your contracts, it's your plan of action. Take ownership of it. Let me help you create that plan of action so that you can work it down the road and grow in that world. And that, to my way of thinking, is what the PTACs are about. And I've been there since '86. So this has been my business for a lot of years. So please reach out to the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. We can help you determine if you're ready for business. I have a lot of clients who come to me when they're already certified 8A and saying, I got 9 years to figure this out. It would have been better if you came to me 9 years before so that we could plan for that 9 years. Because believe it or not, 9 years in the 8A program, it's over. 2 seconds flat. We can help you register in all the proper places as a local contractor, as a state contractor, as a full federal program contractor. We can help you register with the big primes that are looking for you and be ready for subcontracting opportunities with them. We can help you assess if you're eligible for the small business programs. Now at the federal level, you have the government-wide SBA administered set-aside programs, 8A, HUBZone, woman-owned, and service-disabled veteran. I actually have a client with all four. So one of the things I tell people is, are you eligible for one or are you eligible for more? Indian lands are automatically hub zones. Census has nothing to determine there. Indian lands are hub zones. So if you're a tribal enterprise, 8A and hub zone, why is it important to maybe have both? Well, the 8A program says we want you to have 2 years of experience in business, but what they really mean is in government contracting. Well, if you're hub zone and you get your 2 years of experience, because hub zone doesn't require that experience, and then after your first 4 years, you have to start getting non-8A contracts. Okay, all right, we'll do hub zone contracts or non-8A. So again, it's all how you plan out the future of your business. We can help you research past contract opportunities. You know, who's your competition? Can I show you what kind of contracting they've done? Who's that prime you're looking at? Can I tell you the kind of contracts they've got? We can help you look at past contract opportunities. We can help you identify future ones. Okay, there's a 8A contractor in this position. They've got this contract. This is coming up for recompete. Are they still going to be 8A when it recompetes? Okay, if they are, and you can contract 8A right up to the moment you graduate. So you may have some carryover business. So even though you're not technically 8A, you still have 8A contracts. And if you know, in the last month of your certification, you get a Basin 4, you're an 8A for Basin 4. So you could be in the program 5 more years. But the other thing is if you're relatively new to the field and they're going to be 8A with a recompete, mentor protege? You know, can I become a protege of somebody who eventually is going to graduate, and I can start working on the current contract? But the idea is to come up, with the help of the PTAC, can we help you come up with a plan of action with objectives that are executable, that will advance you through your government contracting. So here's a little tighter look at the steps. The initial assessment is, you know, does the government buy what you sell? And that's one of the first things that I'll ask a client, okay, what are you planning to sell to the federal government? And I have had clients, anything that the government is buying, I'd love to sell. It's okay, it's okay. Okay, can you send me your resume? Can we look at what you've actually done in the past? Have you provided services? Have you provided goods? You know, this is a growing experience. That's the cool thing I like, because I grow businesses. I grow them from small to medium to large. We can help you identify your industry codes. I spoke last night with one of my clients, Sam. She updated her SAM registration, and Sam got back to her and said, oh, that's an old NAICS code. You need a 2022 NAICS code. She says, okay, how do I know what a 2022 NAICS code is? Well, the Census Bureau actually designates that, so we got her the information. Federal supply codes and product service codes, every procurement in the federal government is assigned a NAICS code and either a federal supply code for products or a product service code for services. So you need to know both. You need to know both. And then that'll help you in determining what opportunities are out there. And again, we can help conduct market research. And we can look at prime contracting opportunities. If you're doing one of the government-wide set-asides, then we're talking about prime contracting. But there's also any other than small, they don't call them large, they say other than small, any other than small business that has a contract in excess of $250,000 has to have a small business plan. The government agencies flow down their requirements. So are they looking for 8As? No, because that's a prime contracting program, but they're looking for small disadvantaged businesses. You mean I don't have to be certified to subcontract? No. Are they looking for hub zones? Yes. Do I need to be certified? No. You simply have to prove your business is located, be able to document to the prime that you're located in a hub zone and 35% of your employees reside in a hub zone. Woman-owned. The certification is for prime contracting. Self-certification. Now, do they like you to have the certification? Of course. They want the third-party endorsement of the SBA. And so we walk you through the steps of getting certified. Now, it's the same at the state level. I work with 27 states, and I actually know how to do all 27 because I've been working so long with them. But you register as a vendor with your state, and then you also can look at the certifications. Christine told you about North Carolina this morning. But we also work, this is geared toward the federal. We look at your eligibility. Like I said, I have a client with all four, and we planned it out. She just got 8A. She had all the others first. Just got 8A. So we go through, are you eligible? How do we position you? Because this is all about positioning. You're positioning yourself in the market. You're positioning yourself for limited competition on prime contracts. Because that's really what the set-asides do. It limits the competition. Before you're certified, you are eligible to bid on fair and open or small business set-aside before you do any certifications at all. One of the primary services of any PTAC is bid match services. We put a profile of your company in our bid match. We actually pay the subscription to a bid match service. We put a profile of your company in our bid match service, and every day you get an email with bid matches. And then you can also choose, I just want federal, I just want other than federal. We also have the capability of doing international bids through our bid match, but I can't help you with international. You want to talk to Kaya. You can get the bid matches from me, but she can do the technical assistance on that one. And then it's an ongoing inform and educate. And this is where I would encourage you to network with my clients about inform and educate is what we do. I don't try to give you everything, including the kitchen sink. I give you what specifically is needed by your plan. Are you a construction firm? Are you an IT firm? If you're IT, you know, are you doing something specific within IT like cybersecurity, which is a big new field? But we literally will inform you, and if you need some education, we'll get it to you about who your customer is. Because knowing who your customer is the most important thing. If you know your customer, then you and your customer can figure out. So I have clients who get SOWs in advance because the agency wants them to bid on the opportunity. The agency has grown. Now, contracting officers are risk adverse. You heard this morning that banks are risk adverse. Guess what? Contracting officers are too. I don't want any trouble with this contract. So you want to build trust. You want them to know you. You want them to trust you. And I've even advised clients, you might want to talk to that contracting officer if he's got any micro purchases. At the federal level, that's less than $10,000. They don't have to advertise it. They just have to be able to get at least 2 bids. It's usually a request for quote, you know, and they go to who they know. They go to who they know. But every single one of those little micro purchases is a federal contract. Ooh, performance history. Plus, you're gaining the trust. I trusted that person with a $5,000 contract. Now I got a $25,000 contract. I'm going to reach out to them, and it grows exponentially from there. You want to integrate this plan of action into a public sector marketing plan. And you want to integrate your public sector marketing plan into the overall marketing plan for your company. Now, here's a decision. There are companies that are exclusively public. The only customer I care about is the government. I don't want a private side. Or it's a mix of public and private. And so you need to make these decisions in advance, because I do have clients that have a commercial side, and the commercial side deals more with a small business development center or a center funded by the Minority Business Development Agency that can do commercial and general contracting. And so that's the other thing I do. If I can't do the work, I don't just say, go fish. I try to find you that pond where you can do some fishing. And then, the basic of a business plan. For those of you who are in the 8A program or planning to go in the 8A program, you're going to have an annual business plan that has to be submitted. So basically, these are the things you're going to have to address in the business plan. And we can help you with all of this. Now, that includes joint ventures and partnerships. That includes mentor-protege agreement opportunities. And some of these are SBA programs, and some are actually directly with an agency, especially mentor-protege, although usually if it's with an agency, like Department of Transportation right now, is going to be very big because of all this cash that's coming down from the bipartisan infrastructure bill. You want to make sure that you've anticipated a big splash of cash. That you might need somebody else to help give you the capacity and or the capability to handle that contract. You need to have a retention strategy. You don't want to end up, I just finished a contract, I need another contract. No, you should have thought about that probably 6 months to a year before. And then also you have to have financial projections of what it's going to cost to get to your goal. And so that's it. I know they're holding you. You're going to be going to lunch. Here's my contact information. Again, please, I'm happy to take anybody's call, and if I need to redirect you to someone else, I will. But if I can become part of your government contracting team, I'm going to be here today and tomorrow. So feel free. I'm also staying right here at the hotel, so I won't be disappearing this evening. Please reach out to me. I always tell my clients, keep me busy. I get in trouble when I'm not. So thank you for letting me be here, and thank you for being a part of the continued history of the National Center with the Minority Business Development Agency and with the Program for Technical Assistance Program Centers. Thank you.